Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Life in Fort Worth and Dallas. I'm your host, Julia Duffy. And in this video, I'm going to break down the top 10 mistakes that home buyers make here in the DFW area. Now, just to get it all out on the table, all these cities around here are booming. We've got great culture. We've got great food. We even have some serious hot real estate goings on around here. But here's the catch. If you don't know what you're doing, the buying process is really filled with landmines. That's why you need me and my team to help you guide you through this. And so you can avoid these landmines and save you some serious cash, okay? So if you're a first-time buyer, if you're a seasoned buyer, listen up, buckle up, come with us, hit that subscribe button, and come on, let's get to it. So hey everybody, if this is your first time to the channel, or if it's your 50th time to the channel, and welcome back if it's the latter, I want to know, am I giving and delivering the proper content for you? This is a channel about life in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. I'm Julia Duffy, I'm your host, and I do neighborhood walking tours, vlogs. I do a series of what X number of dollars can get you in the DFW area. There's a bunch on that. I'm throwing even a little bit of lifestyle in there so you can see about that. We've got high prices, we've got lower prices, we've got new construction. Now, this video, we're talking about buyer mistakes. So it's all content that is driven towards you, the consumer, and what you're looking for. So, hey, tap that notification button down below, hit subscribe. You'll be the first to get our videos. And let me know what you think. Share. And I don't mean share like, if I could turn back time. Not that. Share it, comment, all that good stuff. I'll see you later. Okay, here we go. Love this content. Mistake number one that buyers make while in the DFW area. That is skipping the pre-approval process for your mortgage and for your lending. So this is what I tell my buyer clients immediately. There's no sense in even going out and looking at homes when you have no idea where you fit in, like even how much you can qualify for a loan. So the pre-approval process is so simple. All you got to do is go to your bank or your lending institution. You can have a credit union who you're going to borrow from, but you need to hook up with a really good lender that can explain everything to you. That's everything from interest rates to how the closing costs, and really dig into your personal finances. We do work with some decent lenders. I can give you some names if you don't have anybody. However, just if I'm going to talk right now, just in case you're a brand newbie and you're just starting out. The pre-approval letter basically gives a range up to a cap of what you can spend. And I really want you to get that lender to drill down on your finances. It's your credit rating, your current employment status, all of that. It's super, super important because you don't want to get to the closing table and go and now you have to come up with 20 grand and you don't have it. So this all needs to be taken into consideration and really all buttoned up before we even start looking. Because think about it. You may think that you can afford a $500,000 home. Great. Well, that could go one of two ways. You would be surprised because of interest rates, because we don't live in our own credit 9 times out of 10. We don't know where we fit in. So that can either be much less than a house that you can afford or much more, depending on your situation, depending on if your spouse has a certain income as well, and you're both going to be, of course, on the title. So all of this, it's really, just make sure that you're very meticulous in this. It's a waste of your time It's a waste of any professional's time to go look at houses that you may or may not be qualified for. So that is my big plea. Now, the second part of this, if you're going to spend cash, don't pay attention to this in terms of pre-approval. However, you are going to have proof of funds. So there is going to have to be a sheet of paper from the lending institution, the brokerage house, wherever that chunk of money is going to be. We have to submit something with an offer that is a proof of funds, be it a pre-approval letter for a mortgage or a proof of funds for cash. Either way, we have to present something. Alrighty, simple. Moving on. Okay, moving on to mistake number 2. And this is a big one, and it kind of piggybacks on mistake number 1. We're still kind of in the financial area on this. So this one is ignoring total ownership costs. Okay, so there are a couple of things to this. First of all, let's go back in terms of lender. If you're getting a loan, lender, even if you're not getting a loan and you're doing this cash wise, this is an important step as well. You need to get a net sheet or an estimation of total closing costs. So that is, again, piggybacking on when you and I, if I represent you, we already are negotiating an offer and we're getting the fine details kind of tweaked and so forth. We talk about a down payment, how much you're willing to put on the down payment. First and foremost, what is the actual cost price of the house that you're willing to offer? So we need to get that nailed down. Then we do the down payment. Then we get an interest rate that you can get locked into from your lender and apply that. Then we talk about, is it in an HOA? If it is, then there are multiple costs that are involved with getting into an HOA, and it's beyond just what you're going to have to pay monthly. There's a transfer fee. There's a certificate, kind of a relocation or a certificate transfer fee. So then there's who's going to pay for title. That's part of the negotiation. Who's going to pay the realtor fee? And we would have already gotten that out of the way prior. We can still negotiate that though, but that's part of it. And what closing costs? I mean, we're in a buyer's market right now, so we can negotiate higher closing costs to ask the seller to pay. Okay, so again, it all comes down to negotiation. You also. I can help you with this obviously too, but you got to figure out the status of the house, the condition of the house, what's going to come up and how that affects your savings and just all kinds of things, even down to, are you going to paint anytime soon? Okay. So that's all on the table. You need to literally have a list of what to do with the offer, what to negotiate within the offer, and then what to negotiate for, maybe between you and your spouse later of maybe some maintenance that you're going to do. You got to take into consideration property taxes. That's usually rolled into your into escrow and into your monthly fee. So that can vary widely depending on what area of the city in which city, by the way, that you're buying in. So, okay, that's probably clear as mud. But I've tried to at least give you several things to think about. Again, you can shop around for a lender, so don't be married to someone that's not speaking your language. I would highly recommend that you have about 2 or 3 people that you're talking to, and then pick one after that. Alrighty. The title company can also help. We use our own, so even in a buying situation, I can have someone that I use all the time run a net sheet for you and estimate closing costs. All right, we're here to help. And on to mistake number 3. Okay, moving on to mistake number 3. So this one is a very obvious one, but amazingly, it gets overlooked at times. Okay, so say you're a buyer looking hot and heavy in DFW. You have fallen in love with a house. It checks all your boxes. It's in your price range. It is the condition that you love. It has the backyard view that you love. It has a pool that y'all love. You can't wait for the kids to, enjoy it in the summertime, blah, 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 right? Well, what if the location is not optimal for your situation? I know that blows your mind, but I've seen it and I've lived it with a lot of clients. So things you need to take into consideration within that location criteria. Number one is there a commute involved? Do you or your spouse or a family member, or whoever, are they going to, is it you that is going to commute? Is it your family member that's going to have to commute? How long is that commute? Are you going to be able to tolerate that commute? And you would have to really research from that house to to the workplace and then back, and really do your due diligence, in Google Maps. Second thing is, and I can't get too heavy into this because of fair housing. School districts matter in Texas, big time. There's good ones, there's not so good ones. And that's going to affect, A, your property taxes, and B, your property value coming up in the future. Now, all that said, anything can happen. I mean, a school district can turn around. It can go from poor to good. It can do the exact opposite and spiral into blah, where it's the whole area is affected. But again, that's a due diligence thing that you're going to have to research. And if you're downsizing, if you're an empty nester or empty nesters, keep in mind, even if you don't have school age children, it still matters in your resale value. All right, just keep that in mind, no pressure, and we're moving on to the next one. Okay, mistake number 4. This one has calmed down a little bit, but it is not acting quickly enough. There's still a big element of that going on. A couple of years ago, almost 3 years ago now, the market here was so crazy that people were making offers from California, Colorado, sight unseen, pulling the trigger immediately, 100 grand, 200 grand over asking price. It was crazy. It was the Wild West. It was like, anyway, we're not there anymore. However, it does behoove you to, if you're pulling the trigger, pull the trigger sooner than later. That's where, I come in and my team and so forth, and we make you aware of the situation. It is my job to get as much information out of the other side as possible from the listing agent, and bothering them in a nice way, asking the key questions like, are you working any active offers? Is there anything on the table? It's also my job to find out as much information through our MLS system as I can as well, which would be get the comps. And I would have given those to you already way prior to making an offer. Also, you have to see, like, maybe they've lowered the price. How long has it been on the market? Days on market. All of that weighs in to your decision on the offer, the just the overall pricing, what else you are going to pay for, what you're not going to pay for, all of that good stuff. So that's that. So basically, the sooner I get all that information to you, which, if you're wanting to make an offer on anything, I mean, it's like I do that immediately. So y'all can go and look at all the info, all the data. You're highly informed, and then you're making a top tier decision. And you're not wasting time. You're not blowing money. You're making a very, very informed, educated adult decision. So acting quickly, you're still moving forward and you're acting quickly. You're just not acting spasmodically and offering, you know, some sort of, oh, just come to my bank account and rip it all off. You know what I mean? So we're not there anymore. Thank goodness. It's not crazy like it used to be. But you need to ask that. Even if I'm not your realtor, you need to ask that of whoever you're using. All righty? Stay informed. That's what this is all about. Okay, so mistake number 5. This is huge. Well, I mean, they're all big. But this is skipping the home inspection. If you're my client, I'm just not going to let you. Even if it's a new build, I promise you, there is plenty to catch in new construction in a new build. So it is imperative. Now, also in the state of Texas, what's imperative is, along with the home inspection, we also tie in a termite inspection. Very, very important. We live in a wooded area. This whole North Texas is wooded in and out. And you're really not making a good move if you skip either one of those. And it's several $100s, but that several $100s is going to save you, trust me, because the home inspection, we can find out quickly the age of the roof. They're supposed to disclose it in the seller's disclosure. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they absolutely don't know, and they sign that they do not know, and that could be a myriad of reasons. But the roof is a biggie, the HVAC is a biggie, and the foundation is huge. And then plumbing's huge too. But those are really the top 4. And I have had, the inspectors have found issues sometimes with all of those, with none of those, with one of those. And then you take that report, and we sit down with the inspector, and he's like, this is number 1, this is number 2, and we figure it out. And then we negotiate. We either ask for, if it's something that's important to you, and I can, of course, help guide you with that. And you really, and again, if I'm not your realtor, no big deal. You've got to get your realtor involved in this, because it's a negotiation at this point. If you keep in mind that everything is a negotiation, it'll help you. Don't think that there's, no way to get out of something. But those 4 areas, the inspector is going to pick up on that. And of course, we all need to get real about this too. It's the inspector's job to find bad stuff. Okay, so you got to keep that into consideration too. There's a lot of stuff that he'll report that we're not going to care about. That's very, very minor. Anyway, that's mistake number 5. Very important though that you pay attention to all of that, the inspection process during option period. Okay, moving on. So yeah, welcome back to the channel, and please, if you are looking at the channel, let me know. Tap that button down below, hit that notification button, bell. You'll be the first to know. Subscribe to the channel, so you don't have to go searching for these. And take a look. We've got like 50 plus videos up by now, and just curious as to what everybody is thinking out there. Leave a comment, share it. If you know anybody that's moving to the DFW area, even if you're moving within the DFW area, even you Dallas folks, come step into the light and come to the Fort Worth area. We have a lot going on. It is thriving. It's a lot of people are relocating here, and not just in Fort Worth or Dallas proper. We have many mid cities, and it's a great place to raise kids, great place to just chill and live your life. So again, comment, let me know if you're enjoying the content that I'm giving, and I will talk to you soon. Text, call, or email, or do all of the above. Let me know if you're moving in 1 day, if you're moving in 100 days. We're the hookup. We're embedded like no other. Let us know. Be my honor to serve you. See ya. Okay, moving on to mistake number 6 that home buyers make in the DFW area. Okay, this is a very simple one, but it really is kind of a strong one. And that's letting your emotions drive your decision making. I know that it's it's a big ticket item. It is emotional. It's going to be your home for the next decade at least, probably. You love it. You want it. I have seen both. I have seen people actually fall in love with something and lose in a bidding war, and that's heartbreaking. But I believe that everything happens for a reason, and just you need to just move on to the next house. And I know that sounds I mean, it's easy for me, right, to take my emotions out of it because I'm representing you, and you're the one that's actually putting the money and the investment in it. And yeah, you can get clouded a little bit with emotion. I think if you don't love the house, you shouldn't be making an offer anyway. So let's take that off the table. And then if you love the house, then let's just do the checklist and see what makes sense for you and what doesn't. I did this recently with a multi-million-dollar home for someone, and they were all in, and we ended up negotiating some really good stuff for this person. We came in right around full ask, I think, but we negotiated some other gifts, if you will, concessions. So everybody won. Everybody walked away and won. And that's really what you want. You want everybody to be a winner. So just keep that in mind. Keep the level head. That's all there is to it. And then lean on me for help and my team. All right, moving on. Okay, this is mistake number 7. And this one is neglecting future needs. So there's, loads of stories in the Naked City on this one. I mean, it could be a young single person that thinks a loft downtown is like the most killer thing ever. And then 6 months later, you meet somebody and you want to start a family. Oops. And really, that's okay. But that's now you're having to get out of something that was a big financial stretch to begin with. And maybe not a stretch, maybe that's the wrong word, but a big financial commitment. And then there's that. I fall into another category, which is because I've got such a horrible knee that I can't have a 2-story house. So I have to look for 1-story, that area. I'm not crippled or anything like that, but I grew up in a 3-story house, so I understand wear and tear on knees going up and downstairs. So that's something to consider. There may be something, also keep this in mind, especially in the subdivisions with the HOAs, and that they're still doing, and they're very active in new building, new construction. You may get one house that you think is on a hill-ish, elevated, and you haven't taken into consideration who or what can do anything behind you. Like we need to find that out. Like, is there a green space and it's off limits and it can't be built on anymore? Is it a utility easement that it's off limits, can't be built, so your view is intact, and it will be in perpetuity? But those are just little things that you need to hear about and know and have that wrapped up. So anyway, just think about the future. And there are people that they're like, I don't care. I want this now. I don't, the future be damned. And that's okay too. It's, if it'll make you happy for the next year and a half, 5 years, that's fine too. It's my job to present the material and let you decide. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we're moving up the charts. Mistake number 8. This is underestimating the competition, and although it's not as strong and kind of where you'll take a hit financially hard as it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Okay, so the market has rebounded though, but it's not that crazy, feeding frenzy that it was several years ago. But it kind of plays into that, don't be slow, but you don't have to be haphazard about your decision making. So that involves like just really knowing your market. And that's where again, I come in, my team comes in. It's all about knowing the comps. It's knowing what really is going on the other side, like whatever information that I can get out of the listing agent. Meaning, you know, do you have any other offers? Oh, you do. Oh, well, okay. Well, what if we came in and did this? And they can say, you know, and I mean, the bottom line is, you as a buyer, you may have like a range that you can work within, but do not ever. I used to work at a company who one of the founders would always say that vomit number, really, like if you're being pushed into a situation that you feel that you need to offer something that is going to haunt you or just kind of make you queasy, sick to yourself, do not do that. It is not worth it. No house is worth that. Okay. Nothing is worth that, really. And you do not want to get yourself into a financial hole. Underestimating the competition, yes, but you also, I just advise all of my clients, just stay within your parameters, your realistic parameters, and then just do the best you can with that. Like the earnest money, the closing date. There's a lot of lease back situations going on right now. All of that, later closing dates because of that, because people are selling their home and first to get the money and then buying the home. So there's a lot we can negotiate, and there's a lot of action like that out there. So, you know, you wouldn't be the first one. And again, everything's negotiable. All right, let's keep going. Okay, here we are. We're almost done, y'all. Okay, mistake number 9 that buyers, future homeowners make in the DFW area. And that would be if you had it in your head to go it alone and not use a realtor or agent. A realtor is really what you want, but it's the same kind of thing. The paperwork alone will eat your lunch unless you're an attorney. And even then, they've changed it all since July of this past year. So there's that. There's negotiation that we do that you would know what questions really to ask. I mean, it's really, we can be a very, very valuable asset for you. And I'm just so sure about that. Yes, I am a realtor, and yes, this is almost a little sales pitchy, and I don't mean it to be, but that is, it works the other way around too. It's weird, even though we're on the buyer side right now talking about these mistakes. There's some sellers that we call it FSBO, where it's for sale by buyer only, and it's weird. They never get the money that they think they're going to get. They think they're saving money, and it ends up costing them in the long run. So same here on the buy side. More importantly, on the buy side, yeah, again, your lender is one of your best assets as well, but the lender can't do the real estate work, and the realtor can't do the lending work. That's just the specialization. That's just the nature of the biz. Anyway, use your own discretion, but your life will be a whole lot simpler and a whole lot less stressful if you use a realtor. You got my number. Keep going. And finally, everybody, we're number 10. This is misjudging or not having the ability to see the resale potential. And again, due to fair housing, we can only tell you so much, but it's really important that you do your due diligence. And in terms of, if you make sure you're not in a sketch neighborhood, like even if it's a fixer-upper, and you're flipping houses or whatever, well, you know, you're going to be flipping, and you're going to be putting all that money into that house, and you're going to assume that you're going to get somebody that's going to be able to respond to that, and it may be all for naught. So there's that. There's school, you know, once again, school districts, and look at the property taxes and, you know, the value of that versus the school district. Maybe there's part of the city that has a hot vibe to it. Well, okay, is that hot vibe going to last forever? It's going to be great for the time being. Like there's I think it's Uptown or whatever in Dallas that has or West Dallas. I can't remember which one it is. Hang on. Okay, so like I was saying, there's a section of Dallas that has actually kind of gone downhill, in my opinion, and I don't believe I can even say it on camera. I think that's getting into very dicey territory. But there was a part of Dallas that was, I mean, happening about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, or something like that. Now the restaurants are boarded up and all of that, and they've moved out of that area. And then there are other areas that have caught on fire. So in a good way, not caught on fire like burned down, that have caught the vibe, caught the trend. So you never know. It's usually start with the comps, start with the real estate. That tells you everything, and look at what has come and gone and the traction in the last 12, 18 months, something like that. You can probably ride the wave and see the trend. So easy to do. No, do not be scared, but life happens, right? Okay, those are my top 10 mistakes that buyers make in the DFW area. And I think that if you pay attention to just these 10 things when you're in the market for a new home anywhere in the Metroplex, you will walk away with saving thousands of dollars. And all it takes is just a little attention, pay attention, get a good realtor, get a good lender, and just go for it, right? So if you're in the market, let me know. And if any of this helped you, any of this content, comment below, smash that button, get notified. If for the next bit of content, subscribe. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next video. Toodles.